Hello, my wife and I recently went to the American Sign Museum. It's just a little bit north of downtown Cincinnati, not really in a suburb because the area where it is quite industrial. There are a lot of factories and some warehouses, and I think a warehouse is what the American Sign Museum used to be. It's a pretty large building, and they have a growing collection very cool signs going back to at least 1900. And it's very cool. We went through it and enjoyed it a lot. If you're in Cincinnati, you should check it out too. So, here is our trip to the American Sign Museum. The parking lot has a mixture of new and vintage signs. Some are three-dimensional and lit up, others are painted directly on the brick. Once indoors, though, you'll see a Holiday Inn sign that welcomes you to the American Sign Museum. Admission prices are very reasonable, $20 for an adult or only $15 if you happen to be a senior citizen. The displays are laid out chronologically, beginning with wooden signs dating back to the turn of the 20th century. Most of the signage in the museum has either been donated or rescued from buildings about to be demolished. Some have been restored, but the museum prefers to keep and display them in their original condition whenever possible. Growing up in Cincinnati, I always thought that the Frisch's Big Boy was unique to my hometown. It was only later that I realized that he was part of a franchise that went by different names across the country. Plus, you can also see him in some of the Austin Powers movies, which is pretty cool. There was so much going on in America after the end of the Second World War. Soldiers returned home, babies were being born, The economy was growing at a record pace, and with that new prosperity came the opportunity for new businesses. Businesses who needed to advertise. I'd call this the golden age for signs. Light bulbs and flashing neon simulated movement. Electric motors allowed giant satellites to rotate as if in orbit. And vacuum-formed plastics created weather-resistant and colorful new iconic shapes. I can't put my finger on exactly why, but I love when storefronts, street lamps, and the streets themselves are recreated within another larger building. I think it might be similar to why I like toy trains with cityscapes, scale cars, and hillsides covered in plaster and sawdust. The whole main street here at the American Sign Museum is like walking through a life-size version of someone's train layout. I think that's why I like it. The brick walls behind the neon signs are also covered in signage, but it's done so well that you'd believe they'd been there in the elements for 50 or more years. The American Sign Museum is an incredible blending of old and new. The people who recreated the walls and the streets and the storefronts must be a team of incredible artists and craftspeople. The American Sign Museum also has several banquet rooms for weddings, parties, or corporate events. My daughter's company brought her entire office here one evening for dinner and drinks. They had complete access to all of the exhibits, and they had it all to themselves. She liked it a lot. That was a few years ago, and this visit today was the first time that my wife and I had been here. We also liked it a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.